Security Breach, the 8th main installment of the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. It was released on Steam on December 16th, 2021, and it threw everyone in for a loop. Security Breach has many reasons on why it's so different from any of the other FNAF games. Allowing you to explore a mall instead of some type of Chuck E. Cheese institute, it only follows the course of one night, which doesn't make any sense because it's called Five Nights at Freddy's, but that's a different argument. You play the game through a named character that speaks, and so much more. When it first released, and still to this day, the reviews are mixed. Some people love the game for the design, the characters, the fun, goofy, quirky 80s aesthetic, but others criticize the game for its glitches and bugs, the layout of the mall, and the overall feeling that the game was rushed. And it was. Security Breach was delayed more than once during its development. Though they made a patch in February 2022 that made it slightly easier, and the game a little less glitchy and a little less bugs, it didn't really help the reception that much. And apparently, one of the main reasons it even released in December of 2021 is because Scott Cawthon, the man himself, wanted the game to be out before Christmas so he could sell copies of the game. I hate this game. I'm sorry to all my Freddy lovers and the Roxy horn dogs. I just don't like it. Okay, but I want to say it's for valid reasons. The first blaring warning sign that this game was going to ruin me was right on the Steam page. Security Breach is 80 gigabytes. In perspective, Breath of the Wild is 16 gigabytes, and the first FNAF is 1. I was terrified. I had no clue what I was going to spend these $40 on. Actually, I got it on sale for 20. And yet, I was curious to see if this game would live up to the trailer hype or live up to any of the past FNAF games, because from the trailer, I was led to believe that Vanny was an actual villain and not just some chick in a Spirit Halloween costume. Alright, I'm gonna start with what I enjoyed playing. The daycare level with Sun and Moon was honestly really fun. It petrified me, being able to hear Moon around me as I was crawling through these little playground structures. Then suddenly he could fly. I was nowhere he could do that. I had a lot of fun turning on intense music and just hanging with my chat, being scared for my life. On my first playthrough, it took me a few tries, but on my second, I did it in one try. I was very proud of it. Guys, I'm so proud of myself. What the heck? We did it in one try. I'm so proud of myself. I'm so bad at games. I also really liked the exoskeleton section, mostly because it terrified me as well. It was the section I paused most in my first playthrough, because I just needed a breather during it. Hearing the stomps of the exoskeletons as you run away from them, not looking at them, not seeing what's behind you, it's terrifying. It makes you sweat. I sweat a lot. But my by far least favorite part of the game, it brings me flashbacks. It's when you had to fix the electricity to repair the robot head to beat Roxy. And this is basically the whole Music Man boss fight section. Now, I'm not sure if the actual gameplay had a problem where it's like too difficult or things got messed up or something, or if it's just me and I'm terrible at gaming, but this was the most I raged. During the entire time, the entire 18 hours I've played this game, this was the worst part.
Next one is for...
I was shooting you! I told you! Having to avoid the dozens of security robots while dodging Music Man, blasting and hiding from Monty and Chica, turning on these electricity things, and having to outrun Music Man in the end created the perfect storm. My own personal hell. Right when I was about to beat the section, I got stuck on something and couldn't move. And for context, this was after like 50 minutes of trying to attempt this level. Let's just say, I've never wanted to cry more on stream than this point in time. I'm stressed out. Go faster! Wait, I'm stuck!
Oh my god. LMAO.
I'm gonna go crazy. That's it. That's it. Angry.
The West Arcade was not shut down properly.
I'm angry. As you can tell from my complexion. No, don't make me do this again. Tears are genuinely in my eyes. I think I'm broken. This is my kingdom come. This is my. I straight up think that I lost more than 10 years off my lifespan from playing this part for more than an hour.
But not moving. I really love to charge up with you. We can be pro Fortnite gamers.
I did it! Also, this is a complete side note, but I was looking through my second Security Breach playthrough, and I saw that one of the follows I got was Kellen Goff 1985. And then later on in the credits, I saw that someone named Kellen Goff voiced Glamrock Freddy and Sun and Moon. I mean, he also voices like My Hero Academia and like JoJo and Attack on Titan. But I'd like to say that voicing Freddy is like all-time high of your career. Now, I checked on when Kellen Goff was born, and he was born in 1995. But it is suspicious that both 1985 and 1995 both end in 5s. And it is suspicious that someone named Kellen Goff followed me on the stream of me playing Security Breach. So if this really was Kellen Goff, I must be severely disappointing him right now. Though I will say, the voice acting in this game is superb, man. It's great. Like, all the voice actors and actresses were also talented. So Kellen, you did great. And of course, we can't talk about the gameplay without discussing the bugs and glitches. Before the patch in 2022, it was a shock that they had even released the game the way that it was. In that version, there was a way to duplicate every single character. The game was harder with less save spots and less balanced boss fights. And even now, the enemies and Freddy teleport through the walls to right next to you. And this is probably one of the most infuriating parts of this game, is you're about to beat a level or finally make it to a checkpoint, a save spot, and then suddenly one of the characters just like pops in right next to you and attacks you and makes you start the whole thing over when they were clearly nowhere near you.
I guess it cleared out for some reason. There's like a sea of people.
It just made it completely unfair, and it made me lose a lot of motivation to keep playing the game, because in my head I knew that no matter how far I got, no matter how good I become, Chica can always transport her mechanical body to the space right next to me just by using her mind. The player can also phase through walls sometimes. The subtitles can get out of order or just not show up at all. It feels like a first draft to a book that still needs major editing and was written by a child. Now, you may think I'm being way too harsh, and I will say the programmers and everyone on the Steelwool team probably worked super hard to make this game, especially in the time restraint that they were given. But I'm just being real. It was a crappy release. I should probably mention that there are whole chunks of the map in this game that are completely unused, and we never see throughout the entire gameplay of this game. And that could attribute to the whole lagging problem. Like, I'd like to say I have a pretty good PC, but there are so many times in this game where it just wouldn't stop lagging. Everyone I know that has a really good PC also agrees with me that the lagging, it was just so terrible, man. There are a whole lot of bugs and glitches that I can make an entire video about, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't really feel like doing that. But there are probably other YouTube videos, go search those up. But after this one... Another thing, all the endings that had the comic book imagery was just so lame, I'm sorry. It's cool, I guess, in theory, but in practice, it just feels laughable after spending hours upon hours on trying to beat this game, and once you get to the ending, you're just met with drawings. And it's so out of the blue, too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think there's a single other part in this game that uses this comic strip type stuff. So for an emotional climax to be told through comic, it's just underwhelming. And it doesn't really fit with the rest of the game. I'd say I like the characters for the most part. The thing that just makes it feel like another free-roaming horror game is how humanized the animatronics are. They aren't very mysterious or intimidating, and for the most part, they annoy me more than they make me afraid, so. The most scared I got was during the endoskeleton part, mostly because I had never seen these types of characters in FNAF before. They don't talk, they're very clearly animatronics. They only move when you're not looking. They're mysterious and totally creepy. And I know the whole thing with the Glamrock animatronics is that they're like cute and fun and friendly because it's like a mall and they're supposed to be friends with kids and stuff and like lure kids in or whatever. But it kind of falls flat when you realize that the map bot is scarier than the actual Glamrock animatronics, even when they're missing like parts of their bodies. Well, except for Monty when he was crawling around on the floor, that freaked me out. I don't really have complaints about Sun and Moon's design, except for the fact that an entire part of the internet made him a Tumblr sexy man, and for that, I will never forgive them. I hope I wasn't the only one utterly confused about the lore in this game, though that is par for the course for most of the FNAF games. Something about this game's lore is just so different. My first complaint might be a bit pedantic, but why did they make it so obvious that Vanessa was Vanny? They seriously combined Vanessa with Bunny. And I know it's made as some sort of offhanded joke by Freddy in the game, but man, isn't this a horror game? What happened? At least keep some sort of suspense and mystery about who the big bad of this game is supposed to be. Because I remember when Sister Location came out and it threw a wrench in what everyone thought was the lore. But Security Breach for most of the plot points felt pretty predictable and very boring. And when there was a piece of the lore that wasn't predictable, it usually wasn't for the best reasons. This is exactly what my biggest gripe with the lore of this game is. The ending of FNAF 6 was the perfect ending. If you guys don't know, the ending of the FNAF Pizzeria Simulator ended with the scream of tortured soul William Afton while a pizzeria burns down, Michael sacrificing himself for the good of the world and the future. The endings for this game chewed FNAF 6 up, spat it back out, and is now telling us to eat it. There are 6 possible endings in this game. The one that irks me the most is the apparent canon ending. So after you collect all the parts that's needed to upgrade Freddy, you and Freddy find what people are theorizing to be the remains of your pizzeria that you made in the Pizzeria Simulator. And you meet a familiar face. A blob comprised of all the animatronics that Burden and FNAF 6 are staring at you with the face of Funtime Freddy from Sister Location. They are still living? So I'm already pissed off, but then Freddy falls into a chamber down below and somehow sees freaking William Afton still alive. I'm going insane. This is like beating a dead horse. But there is no horse. It's me, and it's not dead. I'm alive, and you're torturing me. It was bad enough when in Help Wanted, they somehow thought it was a good idea to make William Afton into Glitch Trap, which is just Afton's consciousness in a digital world. Don't even get me started on that. And you could say the excuse of, oh, but he always comes back. But after being trapped in a Springtrap suit for years on end, he was probably one trip down the stairs away from certain demise. How on earth did he survive an entire building burning down and creating a sinkhole? But apparently, he actually did die. I tricked you. Vanny resurrected him? And his name is Burn Trap? You can't just add a word before Burn Trap and expect me to like him. And we learn he actually has mind control and starts controlling Freddy to attack us. The blob fights against Burn Trap and we never actually see Burn Trap die. So it's likely that he'll come back again. Wait, that's kinda his thing. With all that said, if you like this game, props to you. I'm glad this game has an audience, and I'm glad people have found good things in this purgatory of a game. This has just been my experience and what I've noticed in it, and now, I'm never going to play it ever again. A Security Breach Ruin DLC? This Wednesday at 4 p.m. PST, I will be playing the Security Breach Ruin DLC. Come check it out and don't miss it at twitch.tv/morglive. I want to die. In the comment section below, please tell me your gripes with this game and why you don't like it. Or if you do like it, tell me why you do like it. I am willing to hear all your fresh, new, fun ideas down below. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye bye.